Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I honestly was not going to speak on this resolution today, although I very much support it, but I did want to add another perspective. As many of you know, because of my experience having cancer, I was unable to have a child of my own. My husband and I very much wanted a child, and so we went through several years of trying to adopt. Very difficult process. And even though every day I hoped to get a call from a woman who was pregnant and didn't want to parent, I would never for one moment have dreamed of taking that choice away from any of those women. And our experience of going through open adoption also taught me a lot about the different pressures that women who are pregnant often are facing when they have an unintended pregnancy. Sometimes there's a narrative out there that we even heard repeated from a Supreme Court justice, unfortunately, that this really isn't such a big deal to carry a child for those 9 months, bear a child, and then place that child up for adoption. But I will tell you from the experience that I had with our own birth mother and from the many women that I know who have placed children up for adoption, that there are many, many women who will go through the rest of their lives feeling the loss of that child that they are unable to raise themselves. That is a very difficult choice for many women and a really hard path to walk, and one that I think people take way too lightly. Not only that, but for many women, the very act of being pregnant puts them in physical danger from family members, from ex-husbands, current husbands, boyfriends, who maybe aren't the father, and we don't talk about that enough. For some women, the shame that they feel from their own family, being ostracized, if they're young, being in school and being pregnant, what that will do to that person. There are children back before there was abortion that was allowed who were sent away, literally sent away to have children and never really welcomed back in their community, who carried that stigma for the rest of their lives. And in most cases, when abortions happen, when people have proper medical care, you're talking about a piece of tissue that's so small that you couldn't even identify it with the naked eye, much less have distinct organs. So all of those protections, all that safety for women, the ability to choose if and when they want to parent, are now at risk. And from the perspective of an adoptive parent, for other adoptive potential parents in the future, this is not what any of us should want. This is not what anybody should want. And it is beyond reprehensible and shocking to me that this is the path now that this country is walking down, given the experience that my mother and that our grandmothers had watching their friends literally die because they were so desperate. And I think the men who want to talk about this clearly have no idea of the desperation that an unwanted pregnancy can have on a woman and on a family. So listen to the voices of those women. Think about those women who died, who were so desperate that they risked their lives and died to try to regain that control. And the idea that we're going back to that, shame on us.